Good morning. Welcome. We are going to get started at 11:02. Let me just check how many people have RSVP'd for this session. I'm going to make sure Nydia is my co-host here. I really thought I added you when I made the event. Sorry about this. All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. We are going to get started in just a minute. Just going to check to see how many people RSVP'd for this session. All right, we've got 15 people. We're anticipating at 11. Great. We've got all this stuff. All right. Here we go. All right. We have We're only missing a couple people, but that's okay. We're going to get started here as everybody connects to audio. Hello and welcome. This is round 2 for us this morning. So if you could please find the chat, help us out with attendance a little bit here, put your name and organization, as well as how you're feeling about today's training, and maybe throw one of the little reaction emojis up out there. If you are here for Airtable Referrals, Onboarding, and Training, you are in the right place. Yeah, Nirvana, I see you. I'm glad you're excited. It's 11:02, so if you haven't already, I actually only see one person in there. Thank you. Thank you for kicking it off, Allie and Brittany. Throw your name, your organization in there so we make sure we know who's attending these sessions. And also, if anybody got forwarded an invite, we want to know if there's any newbies that weren't necessarily on the original emails or added to Airtable yet. So it's 11:02. I'm going to start sharing my screen. We've got a lot to cover today. Really excited to have you all joining us. I'm going to get a chat open over here. All right, let's get rolling. For anybody who doesn't recognize me or know me yet, my name is Emma Matt-Butel, One-Stop Operator Manager at Scale It. I'm joined today by my coworker, Nydia Mejia. She's the other OSO manager. She is the point of contact for the Suburban American Job Centers. I'm the point of contact for the City American Job Centers, but of course you probably have seen both of our faces if you attend any of those center level meetings or our quarterly system-wide meetings. We are so excited, so hyped to get all of you in Airtable. It's been a long time coming. Right now, it is just our Title I WIOA providers at all the agencies, our navigators, DRS with Title IV, and IDES. So joining you in the room, just so you are aware, are Title II Adult Ed partners, our CSEP partners, Job Corps, WIOA Youth. So really, really exciting. The types of referrals we'll be able to send after these sessions are done. This is session 1. There's going to be Q&A at both sessions. Today is going to be Airtable basics, designating points of contact, logins, all the Airtable tools. We're going to just go over it all. Make sure you know what is available to you. As far as learning Airtable, you'll learn pretty quickly. There are no Airtable secrets. All the information's out there. We want to make sure there are different types of tools for all the different types of learners within our network. Next week on the 23rd, we're going to go deep dive into Airtable responsibilities. So responsibilities for the partners who are going to be receiving, sending, responding to referrals, expectations, and then a ton of demos. We're going to dive into Airtable. We're going to use it. We're going to explore. So get excited. But for now, for today, at the end of this, you should hopefully be able to answer the following questions. What is Airtable? What is the Airtable user guide? Airtable playlist? Office hours? What are these things? How do I get there? What do I do with them? How do I log into Airtable? What are the 2 ways referrals are sent and received? And then lastly, we're going to talk about how do you send a referral to another partner. We're going to do a demo as well. So really good stuff. Before we jump into our tools and demonstrations and logging in, For anybody who is maybe new to this conversation, real brief, what is Airtable? We have chosen Airtable as a referral system for the LWIA7 AJC network because it is a collaborative form collection database that has features that allow users to send, receive referrals through a single referral form, filter real-time referral data, receive automated messages for daily referrals, and track referral outcomes. This little list, 4 buckets here, are some really big things that partners have been asking for years in regards to what happens with a referral when I send it, how do I know, and it provides some transparency, consistency, and so we're really excited. It's been going really well. The screenshot's actually pretty recent. We are nearing almost 2,000 referrals in the system already that we can see when they got sent, who they went to, look at the notes and comments, and see what happened to that referral as far as outcomes. So welcome. You're going to be part of this too. All right, for starters, we have our tools. This is the Airtable Referrals User Guide. It's completely updated as of November 2023 with bunches of new updates. I did attach it to the email invitation, so hopefully you've already received it. Maybe you peeked at it, maybe not, but if not, it's okay. We're going to do a whole tour of this tool. This is tool number 1 of many that we've created for our partners so that they can fully download everything Airtable, they can know how to use it, and they can know where to find answers to their questions as they get started. The user guide is a tool for our partners that provides information on Airtable as a platform, Airtable access and navigation, referral management, Airtable user roles and responsibilities, the actual forms, the other project we're using it for. It is a lot of information. So anybody on this call who's like, yes, give me a textbook, let me read it through, let me sticky note, let me highlight, let me underline, this tool is for you. But anybody who's kind of weary, we did try to make it as accessible as possible. We're going to take a little tour of this user guide. How do you use it? We have developed the user guide with a comprehensive table of contents and then tons of embedded links in that table of contents and throughout the user guide to help you get the information you need. Basically, it's all just one chunk section about Airtable, deep dives into what is Airtable, goes over the glossary, all the terms, step-by-step about logging in for the first time, tips on navigation, the forms, links, everything's in there. The table of contents contains embedded links that will jump you to different parts of the document. So if you're like, I don't want to scroll and read through this whole thing, you can look at the table of contents and jump straight to, okay, I want information about the actual form. I want information about how to update a status and what those options are. You can click right there and it'll jump you. All links are underlined and in blue. There are also links throughout the user guide that may take you to an external resource or URL with more information relevant to that section. So that is the user guide. I'm going to scroll through really quick, use the little features that help make this PDF hopefully accessible and usable to our partners. And then we'll do a little check-in to see how everybody's feeling. Oh no. Oh no, here it is. Okay, you guys see the user guide? I hope so. Yeah, you do. Okay, perfect. So I sent this out to everybody. It is a 20-something page document. There's some tips at the top of the document with how to navigate all those things I just talked about, the links, the table of contents, hotkeys if you're into that. But the second page here is that beautiful table of contents. And I'm just gonna jump to a section for you. I'm gonna go say I'm in here and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. But I really just want to know how to change the referral status. It'll jump you right to that section. It's underlined, it's highlighted, there's text in bold. We actually had this user guide reviewed by the Plain Language Lab with the literacy works. So hopefully it is pretty easy to use. There's lots of photos and how-tos, step by step. Click here, download this. So hopefully it is pretty easy to navigate. So please dive in here. Everything you need to know is in here. Everything from how to log in, how to export a referral report to, I just can't for the life of me find the referral form. It is linked in here a couple times. So this is the user guide. Any questions, anything you guys want to see in here? Otherwise, this tool is yours, and you'll be in it potentially quite a bit. Great. Where can you find this user guide? The user guide will be emailed to you again after this training. It can currently be found on the partner portal at scale.org/AJC. It's also linked in the most recent system-wide update that we released in December. This guide's maintained by the Always 7 One-Stop Operator team. Future guides will be updated as needed. We update them once a quarter-ish with any updates or changes that we make to the system. So the user guide has everything written down and with screenshots, how-tos. If that is not going to help you learn Airtable, we have a wonderful Airtable referrals training playlist. Launch video, it gives you multiple demonstration videos on the interface, the base, the AJC user guide. There's demonstrations on how to fill out the form. It's all in there. For anybody who's like, no, I just want to listen and I want someone to walk me through it step by step, this playlist is for you. And more videos are being developed. And these onboarding sessions are also being recorded. So we have the user guide, we have the training playlist. Our third tool for our partners that is reoccurring is every single week we have Airtable office hours. If you have any questions that come up, you need a demonstration, you're having issues with your login, technical, anything, please join us on Tuesdays at 12:30 to 1:30. These are not required. They're optional drop-in. You'll all be invited to these office hours. I would recommend just hitting maybe or yes. So it's just a standing event on your calendar, knowing that you don't have to go, but you don't ever lose the Zoom link. That is also a standing Zoom link that never changes. Somebody will always be there. You can show up at 1, not 12:30 if that works better for you. You can show up at 12:30 to 12:35 and then leave, and that's okay too. So 3 different tools to help you as you become acclimated to using Airtable. We've got the user guide, our training videos, and then of course these office hours weekly to ask whatever remaining questions you have or questions that come up as you're using it. So boom, that is a lot of information to get us started here, but I want to get to those demonstrations and get to getting into Airtable. So that's why I went through pretty quickly. What questions does anybody have about Airtable, the user guide, playlists? How's everyone doing? All right, I'm gonna assume everyone's doing great. And yes, Griselda, this is being recorded. All right, if there's no questions, we're gonna talk about logging in, and then we're gonna go in. We're gonna dive in there. You guys ready? All right, logging into Airtable. How do I log in for the first time? Everybody who received this calendar invite was added to Airtable, I believe this morning, maybe last night. It's a blur, I can't remember. I have 2 kids who've been home for many days. So we invited you. You should have an email. Check your spam, check your promotions. Look for, search Airtable. It'll say One Stop Operators has invited you to collaborate on their base. And you will click the blue open base or accept invite button. And you will create a free Airtable account with your work email, okay? If you have not received an invite, please right now just start putting in the chat being like, hey, I didn't get an invite, and we'll troubleshoot that after. But you do not need to create anything in Airtable. So if you have it, if you've gone in there and you're like, it's asking me to like make a base, it's asking me all these questions, just hit skip, skip, because we've invited you to something that we've been building out and creating for many months now. So let me just skip back here really quick. 1 second. Here we go. We've already invited you. Create a login with your work email. That's all you got to do. Logging in for the first time. You don't have to create anything. If it asks you a bunch of questions, just hit skip and it'll take you to your homepage. Before we go to that homepage, I want to get a little pulse check of where we're going. I see a bunch of stuff in the chat, but I'm just going to launch a poll to make it really easy for us. Please select the option that best describes where you're at. You've successfully logged into Airtable, but that's it. You've received the invite, but you haven't logged in yet. You didn't receive an invite. You have no idea where it is. You've searched every nook and cranny of that inbox. And then lastly, you've logged in. You even started to explore. You looked around. You clicked on some stuff. You're like, ooh, look at all this. Ooh, nobody's explored yet. I'm gonna leave this poll open until everybody's voted because I really need to know where everyone's at. So, and if you are that I did not receive the invite and you've checked your spam, you've checked your promotions, you've searched Airtable 100 different ways, please throw your email address in the chat saying, hey, can you please resend me the invite? And I will do that today. All right, well, it looks like it's about 50-50. You've received the invite or didn't receive the invite. So as I said, please, someone keep coming in the room. Please throw your email in there. All right, great. That's okay. That's okay if you haven't logged in. That's why we're doing this. So I'm gonna close this poll out. We're split 50-50 between logged in and not logged in. Close this out. And so I'm gonna walk us through what you need to know, whether you've logged in or not, the first time you do log in to Airtable. So I'm going to go over some Airtable terms before we actually go to the homepage, and go over some small tips before we go onto the homepage, because these are terms and definitions that I will be using in the Airtable training videos and while we navigate the Airtable referrals system. So with any new system comes new terms. First one being the Airtable workspace. The Airtable workspace is essentially the Airtable homepage where the collection of bases live. What's a base? A base is similar to a folder, and it contains individual organized files that'll look like a little colorful cube, just like a desktop with a folder on it. For our purposes, each base that you will have on your homepage will be related to referrals. And then if you're a navigator, we do have a couple of navigators in here. They are also using Airtable as their tracking system, so they will have multiple bases on their homepage. But for our regular AJC partners, you should just have one base and one interface. Our interface, this is a curated representation of the base data. So a base, the referrals base, is a database. It's literally what it is. It has all the information needed for building our system, sending referrals, receiving referrals, all our partners. Everything is in the base. The interface is a curated representation. So we have customized it with visual elements, filters, different sources of that data, and permissions so that our partners, when they're going in to manage the referrals they've received, they don't have to dig around. They can just go directly to the referrals that have been sent to them as the point of contact. So I'm going to show you both of those. We're going to deep dive into both of those next week. But I want to just emphasize now, and I'll say it again later, the base is everything. It can be overwhelming. It is all the information around referrals. The interface is more curated. There are pages that are custom to your login, so you literally will only see your stuff So if you're a partner on here and you already know I'm going to be the one providing outreach, I'm going to be updating the status, I'm going to be adding notes, and that's all you really need to know, you don't have to worry about the base unless your supervisor is like, no, you got to worry about the base. But that's not my job. That's somebody else's job. So the interface is a great spot. Ask anybody who's using Airtable. They will prefer the Airtable interface over the base, but either way, we need the base for the interface to exist. Within the base is tables. They're organized into tables just like an Excel spreadsheet. There'll be little tabs at the top that I'll show you in a minute. And each table is a distinct group of data used for the referral process. And so you'll see that there's a table just for referrals. There's a table for our customers. There's a table for our partners. There's a table for organizations. And within each of those tables is a row of data. And those rows within each table are called records. Within the referral records table, each row of data represents one single referral. The columns in a table, those are the fields. So each field or column has a different variable associated with that record. For our referral records, every single column, every single field represents a question on the referral form. So it'll make sense when you look at it, but just so you know the terms. Some bonus terms for you here. Ooh, one of them's not even up on there, but we have collaborator. Airtable refers to its users as collaborators. That's because anybody can be in there at all times. You can chat kind of like old school AIM or Google Chat or whatever within a referral record, asking questions with whoever sent it. If you're also in there at the same time as someone else in the base, you can see their little name navigating, sort of like a shared Google Doc. And then the bonus term that's not on your slide is a view. On the left-hand side, I'll show you. There'll be a list of views. A view shows the same information from different angles and are specific to each individual table in a base. Looping back to the interface is essentially a super view. It's a super view. It's super specific to your organization, to your login. The views within our base are specific to our American Job Centers or service areas, which you'll see in just a moment here. So those are our terms. There's more details under each term within the user guide. If you're like, I need more, give me more, it's there. I promise, I gave you it all. So you can review the glossary in the user guide. Before we go into Airtable directly, just some best practices. You've logged in already. How do you see what I'm talking about? I'll show you in just a moment, but there will be two drop downs below what looks like Scale at Airtable Workspace, or it'll say Home right there. There'll be two drop downs. You want to make sure you select Shared with You because you haven't created anything in Airtable yet. We've only shared stuff with you. If it looks blank, when you're logging in, it's because you haven't selected Shared with You and you haven't opened anything yet. And then you'll click. These are what the bases and interfaces look like. They're little colored cubes. They're very cute. So just pro tip that I'm going to show you in just a moment. Here we go. Make sure there's no questions in here. I want to make sure there's tons of opportunity to demonstrate the referral form and answer any questions. So that's why I'm moving quite quickly. We are recording this and there will be a pause for questions in a moment. So I have logged in. This is the Airtable workspace or home page. I don't have the shared with you option because nothing has been shared with me. I am the Airtable. I've been called the wizard. I don't know if I feel good about that, but I've made everything in here. So I can't necessarily select shared with me because no one's shared anything with me. And it's a little sad actually. But when you click this drop down, there'll be an option that says shared with me. And the Airtable referrals base will show up. I'm going to hammer it home here one more time. The interface is the way to go. It is the best part of Airtable. So if you don't see your interfaces, you want to select all types or show interfaces only. I recommend all types. We use Airtable for a bunch of different projects. So if you've logged in, you're like, I don't see anything purple and blue on my homepage, that's okay. You don't need to worry about it. Just focus on the green here. And so I'm just looking at all types, which is bases and interfaces. Again, the base is the database. It is everything regards to referrals. The interfaces are like super views that let you hone in on information. You don't have to dig as much. As you can see on the interface pages right here, you can go directly to a dashboard. You can go directly to a view that's just referrals sent, or just a view that's referrals received. For the purposes of going over the terms, I'm going to start by selecting the LWIA7 referrals base. You'll see at the top here all these individual tabs. These are our tables. Referrals records is where all the individual referrals are. Customers table is where each customer is. There can be multiple, and there probably will be multiple referrals for certain customers. There shouldn't be duplicate customers, but there may be duplicate names in our referral records table, and that's okay, and you'll find out why when we get to our referral form. If you're doing some exploring, our first table is our service areas. This is all of our American Job Centers and satellite sites, as well as our IDS service regions. We have funding categories here, partner organizations, which this is where I would add any notes specific to your organization. So if you have a little blurb that you want to show up in the referral form when people select your organization to refer to, please let us know. Send me that little blurb and I will put it here. It'll show up on our referral form. Partner staff is where your partner referral profiles will show up once you complete one. The table you have to worry about most is the referral records table. So don't stress about all the other tables. This is where all the action is as far as referrals go. On the left-hand side will be our views that filter by the type of referral and then by the service area. So there's one for each service area. I need to update these names. As you heard at our last system-wide, some of these names have changed for our American Job Centers. If you are in here and you are reviewing referrals, you're managing referrals, and this is just too much, you can also close and collapse this sidebar and just see the referral records. Wherever you see a little I in a circle will be a description of each table with some helpful information for each one. You can also navigate to the interface from the base. You don't have to go to the home page, so you can just go up to the middle of your screen, select interfaces, and that will bring you to the referrals interface. There's 3 pages, which we'll dive into it next week, but there's the overview dashboard. This is our entire network with an organizational filter. There's a referrals received page with some sub pages. And then there's our referral sent page with some sub pages. So that's how you get to the interface. You can go back to the base by selecting view data, or you can go back home by selecting this arrow, or you can select the icon, which is a star, go back home. All right. That was a speedy little navigation tour. What questions do we have? What do we want to see again before we jump into how to send a referral?
I think we're good.
All right, I'm getting some links for us here. Swipe back over. All right, so we've reviewed what the tools are. We've reviewed logging in for the first time. We did a little demo of what to do once you log in, how to find stuff. The only piece that's missing is how do referrals even get in there? What are the 2 ways referrals are sent? So there's 2 links in your chat. There's the referral form link, and there is the levelupajc.org website. That level up link that I sent in there is the partnerships landing page. That's part of the AJC campaign to promote and give more awareness to the AJC network. On that page, there's a bunch of stuff, but one of the things that is on that page is a career seeker AJC interest form. These are completed by potential customers. They can self-refer and show interest to services provided by the AJC network. At this time, those referrals are going directly to Title I. They're the ones getting notifications when new forms are submitted via that website. The beauty of onboarding all of you as adult ed and CSEP and WIOA Youth, Job Corps is those customers can say they're interested in ESL. They can say, hey, I'm a youth and I'm interested in employment. Now those WIOA Title I partners can send those referrals directly to you via Airtable after you're onboarded. So that's how you're connected to that. But for right now, you don't really have to worry about the form or the link or anything. I'm just letting you know that there are referrals in the system that aren't necessarily from a partner directly. They are a potential customer self-referring themselves to services within our network. So that's that. Number 2 is the partner referral form. So there's a QR code here. This QR code isn't posted places. This is just for ease of access for this presentation. So if you can't find your chat and you can't find the link, you can scan the QR code and you can look at it. But this form is for network partners. It isn't for just any provider out there in the world. It is for the partners within our network to send referrals to other partners in our network. So as it says on the screen, the partner referral form is completed by WIOA partners and sent to another partner. So we're going to demo that. We're going to send a little test referral here. Some things that are going to be covered that are going to be new, I'm going to make sure you hear them, is the partner referral profile, service areas, the customer profile, and the referral details. There's some best practices and little nuances for each of those buckets. So let's do it. Before we do it, does anybody have any questions? Because I'm getting ready to share a bunch more stuff. Is anybody fully checked out? I won't be upset. I wanna just bring you back in. I'm just kidding. All right. So if you click the link or scan the QR code, you'll be brought to a form like this. This referral form collects bare minimum customer information for personal information protections. We don't gather social security numbers or anything like that. Just really basic information to be sent to another partner. There's 3 pages. Page 1 is the referring partner staff information. So who's filling out this referral? This is if you're filling out the referral, if you're sending a customer's information to another partner, this is all about you. Page 1. First thing you're going to do is you're going to add your partner referral profile. The beauty of this form is you only have to do this one time. If you've already done a referral form, maybe a couple weeks ago, you can search your name if you want to scroll, but there's a lot of people in here, so searching is the best option. You can find yourself and select yourself. If this is your first time completing a referral form, you're going to click that Create Partner Referral Profile or Staff Referral Profile. Test staff. Test. I'm going to say workforce specialist. Email address. Test staff. There are some bounds on this form. You can't enter a fake email address. It needs to have that ampersand symbol and a dot something within the email address. Same thing with phone numbers on this form. You have to enter the right number of digits. Same with the zip code. All right. Next, you're going to add what organization you're connected with. You can only select one organization here. If you're thinking I'm connected to multiple organizations, please let me know in the chat or after this meeting so we can figure out a workaround. I'm going to use Easter Seals again. I'm going to say I work for Easter Seals. And then you're going to select your partner category. As far as partner category, you can select multiple here. There are partners in our network that are tied to multiple partner categories. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, they are listed here when you select add. So Wagner Pizer Title III, unemployment, TANF, adult basic education Title II. And since my example is CSEP and Easter seals, my partner category is CSEP. But if you have another one you're tied to, you can add that secondary category. This is your profile that will be standing. It's not just tied to this one referral. So add all the information that makes sense to you here. And then please add what American Job Center or service area you're connected with. You can also add multiple service areas here. For the purposes of Airtable, which I need to adjust this, it shouldn't list all these things for us, it's way too much. It should just have the name of the American Job Center or service area and then a note. If you're tied to multiple AJCs, like Easter Seals is, you'll select all of the service areas that you work in, which I'm just going to do a couple for the purposes of this example. All right, and then you hit submit. Again, say Susanna's filling out her partner referral profile. Next time she fills out a referral, she doesn't need to fill out that little mini form. She just has to find herself in the list and add. Something she will need to do multiple times is select which center or service area she's sending it from. This isn't extremely important as far as like the outcome of a referral, but it is helpful for us in the long run to track where referrals are coming from, especially for organizations that are all over Cook County and not just in one space. So you'll just select the one individual American Job Center it's coming from. I listed the AJC at the King Center. I'm going to say I'm Brandon. I'm working there on a Friday. A person comes in and somebody needs Title II services. So that's where it's coming from. So that's page one. Hit next. Page two is the customer's information. Who is the customer? You can search the name of the customer you're referring if you've already sent a referral for them. If you don't see them, you're going to select add customer referral profile. Of course, you might not necessarily be able to keep track of all the customers you interact with over a long period of time, but there are sometimes repeat visitors that you refer to services. So if you know that you've already sent a referral for this person for services, you can fill this out once. You can search them if you're not sure. Always search a customer's name just in case. And actually, I'm going to close this and just show you right here. You'll be able to know, since there are common names, it'll always list the customer's email, phone number, and zip code. So if you're working with someone who matches all those things, you can assume it's the same person. But if you're not sure, or it's a brand new customer, you can just fill out the customer profile. First name, last name, email address. I actually don't know the zip codes near the King Center, so just gonna do that. And then any notes for this customer. This is not a required field. This is also not the space to put referral notes. So there will be another opportunity at the end of this form to add notes connected to the actual services this customer needs for this individual referral. These are more specific to the customer notes that you think may be helpful. Again, it's an optional field. You don't have to add anything, but things that you could list here could be requires accommodations, relies on PACE buses, currently unhoused, whatever you think would be helpful to know on this customer's profile. I'm just going to say, for the purposes of the example, relies on CTA. Again, you don't have to put anything here. Hit submit. Customer's profile is created, and you can hit next. Third page is, where's this referral going? What does this person need? Please note that if you're submitting multiple referrals, after submitting this form, there'll be 2 buttons, and you'll be able to complete an auto-filled form for the same customer. So if this person needs multiple services, you click that button, it'll just bring you back to page 3 to fill out the information for the other services. And then there's going to be another button that asks if you want to begin a new referral for a new customer, and it'll bring you back to page 2. Elena, I'll loop back to your question in just a minute, but I see it. So just as a note, and you'll see that once we submit this referral. We also have linked in here a zip code map. So if you're not familiar with, say a person walks into your organization or your American Job Center or your school, and their zip code is nowhere near where you are at. There's a zip code map on Illinois WorkNet, as well as our job seeker page, where you can type in their zip code and you can see what American Job Centers or satellite sites are actually near where they live, and help them out that way if you're not sure. We also have linked here the AJC manual, which provides partner information. If you're like, I have no idea what Title II means, I have no idea what CSET means, you can get a little review there, because you will be asked to select a partner category as well as organization. So those are there for your resource. This is a conditional logic page. So whatever partner category you select will filter partner organizations. So if you select Title II Adult Basic Education, when you go to this next section for partner organization, only Title II organizations are going to show up. You won't be able to select a CSEP organization like Easter Seals. You won't be able to select Paul Simon Job Corps. You'll only be able to select Title II orgs. So for example, I'm going to show you here. Actually, I'm going to do CSEP. Let's see if I have this set up correctly. This will be exciting. Oop. Ugh. What am I doing wrong here? Ooh, I know why. So because you guys are brand new and people are actively using this form,
We're not popping up.
you're not popping up because no one can send you a referral yet. So it will work, I promise. So for the purposes of this training, since you guys aren't in Airtable yet, we're going to send this referral to Title II because I did start adding you all, and Title II is in here. And then you'll select partner organization. As you'll see when it loads, only Title II partners are in here. You don't see Paul Simon Job Corps. You don't see ECS or ENES. And we're by the King Center. So we're going to send this to Kennedy King College because that's nearby. And then this is where you'd put any notes for this referral in regard to the services they're interested in. I noted this at this morning's training at 10 a.m., but we used to have an additional question that would show up when you selected Title II, where you could check off which types of Title II services you are interested in, like ESL, HSC, GED, bridge programs. The only problem with that question is not every organization offers all of those options. So if you have any ideas after this training with how to alleviate that, whether that's adding more detailed descriptions to your organization to help partners out, let us know. But for right now, if you are sending a Title II referral, I am sure that partner would love to know their highest level of education, how old they are, have they taken any GED tests yet? Are they interested in bridge training? Put it in there. Anything that you think would be helpful as someone receiving a referral, throw it in there. Throw it in there, especially things that would determine eligibility, like veteran status or age. You can throw it in this referral notes box. It is required to add some sort of note to your referrals. So put something here. It can even just be like they walked in, they're from the zip code. Just details that you have that you think would be helpful. High school grad, for example. And then the last thing you need to do before submitting this referral is there's a priority referral checkbox. Please check this box if it's a warm referral. What I mean by a warm referral is the customer or the learner, the walk-in, the client, whatever your organization calls participants, is sitting with you and you know that they're being referred, or you've already talked about it saying, hey, I know somebody who can help you out. I'm going to send a referral to them. They're going to reach out to you. And they're like, great, cool. I'll be ready to pick up a random phone number or answer a random email that I get. The customer is ready for outreach. That is a warm referral, okay? Hopefully, most of the referrals you send are warm referrals. We're not just sending people willy-nilly. I will tell you that there are certain partners in our network that do send referrals that aren't necessarily warm. For example, they may have a workshop and say 10 people show up and they're like, hey, FYI, because you attend this workshop, we're referring all 10 of you to WIOA Career Services. And anybody who's like, yeah, totally, I'm interested in manufacturing, they're going to mark that priority checkbox. Anybody else, they are not a warm referral. But we're going to mark it because this person walked in, you're sitting with them in the resource room or in your cubicle, and they're ready for outreach from Kennedy King. You're going to hit submit referral. Thank you for submitting this referral. The appropriate partner has been notified. That would be the point of contact for that organization. We'll respond within 3 business days. And when it says respond, that means they'll go into Airtable and they will update the status of that referral as received or attempting contact. They'll begin adding notes and they'll begin outreach with that customer. They're not going to email you saying, hey, I got your referral. So that's why it's important to log into Airtable and check on those referrals that you've sent. From here, you can submit another referral for that same customer. You can't, in the same referral form, refer a customer to Title II and to a navigator and to CSEP. If this person needs multiple services, you need to fill out multiple referral forms. But if you click same customer, you don't have to fill out that customer's information again. You just have to fill out page 3 again, which is really great. If you have another person you met with that day that you need to send a referral for, you can select submit another referral for a different customer. It'll bring you back to page 2, and you'll add the information for that new customer and then fill out page 3. But you don't have to ever fill out your information again. And that is the referral form. All right, let's do some questions here. Ooh, 1 second, losing my page. And see if got any in the chat. Also, feel free to raise your hand or unmute if you have a question as well. We are moving towards just Q&A time. I've got some next steps for us. Let's see. I have a question from the from field on page 1, since we're not physically located at GC. So Elena, so Oakton is tied to the AJC at Wheeling service area. So that would be your service area. If there are other...
I know that's my service area, but we are located pretty far from there. You still just want us to choose whichever AJC we are assigned to.
Yeah, which I know doesn't make tons of sense, but this system was built for the American Job Center network. So you would select the American Job Center that you're affiliated with, that you attend the meeting, you potentially have relationships with the partners there, and you hopefully will get referrals from, say, BCS for your programs. The northern suburbs are pretty big. Suburban areas have similar challenges.
Sounds good. I just didn't know how to interpret from, right? Because we're not there physically. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's why we're calling them service areas versus like just pick your AJC. It's more like, okay, like I'm tied to this general area, and if you are tied to a suburban American Job Center, that space can be pretty big in comparison to our city areas. All right. Any other questions? Otherwise, I'm going to walk through our next steps. Next steps, there's quite a few of them. Don't worry. I will be sending a follow-up email. Please finalize your agency's point of contact. What does that mean? As an organization, please select 1 to 3 people that have one, attended Airtable onboarding, and they are ready and willing to receive referrals for your organization, which means they get the email notifications when new referrals come, and they are responsible for updating the status, adding comments and notes for referrals received by your organization. Staff at your organization that are going to be sending referrals do not need to be a point of contact. They just need training on the referral form, how to fill it out. And then we can also give them Airtable viewing access. But if they are just sending referrals, they're not ever managing referrals, they don't need that level of access, and they don't need to be a point of contact. So please finalize those points of contact and email me or oso@scaleit.org. I'll put my email in the chat here with those people. The goal is to have everybody onboarded. So that's our adult ed partners, our CSEP partners, WIOA Youth, Job Corps, and then some bonus people as well, people who are revved and ready to go live and in Airtable by February 1st. So we have a little bit of time to finalize those points of contact. Next step number 2 is please log into Airtable if you haven't already. I will troubleshoot anybody who didn't get the invite. I'll be sending it out. Practice submitting that referral form. Please click the link, fill it out, create your profile. You can make a real deal profile. Make a real deal profile for yourself, but the customer information, please use test customer as the name and send it to a Scale It navigator. Because they're at Scale It, I can kind of like let them know like, hey, some tests are coming in and nobody gets confused. So please just do it one time. Send a referral form, see how it feels. Review the user guide, review any videos you think will be really helpful. You can even get a sneak peek at the interface video before next week. Write down any questions that might come up before the next session. Session 2 will be Airtable user responsibilities expectations. We're gonna do a ton of demos. We're gonna dive into Airtable, and of course Q&A. It's gonna be really exciting. And that is January 23rd at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Those sessions will also be recorded. So if you can't attend the whole thing, or you can only attend 10 a.m., don't worry about 11 a.m. It's the same information at 10 and 11 a.m. So that's it. Free to go. Finished on time. Send me your point of contact information. Attend Airtable office hours next week if you want to. I'll send out some follow-up materials for you all, but you can always reach out to the OSO team with any questions. But congratulations, you finished Airtable training session 1. Really great to see all of you here. And I'll stick on for 5 more minutes if anybody has any standing questions. Otherwise, stay warm out there.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I know this is gonna seem odd. I feel like I didn't get the first like this is the second of the series and not the first. So because I'm new to this, and I didn't. I mean, it's like all new.
Yeah, this is all new for everyone. This is the first session.
So it is the first session. Okay.
Yes.
So then, so I did put my email in the chat, but I will.
You're with National Able CSEP?
Yes, I'm gonna probably need to go like through the tutorials and things like that and sign in. So if you could send me like all that, I would be very grateful.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Are you located at Prairie State or Pilsen?
I'm actually in downtown Chicago.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So So.
Okay, I was just curious because I am going to be at Pilsen this afternoon, and then Nydia.
Oh, okay. No, I'm working from home today. I got this cough, and nobody wants. It's
Yeah,
like,
no worries,
don't
no
want your
worries.
cough. So.
Yeah, I will be sending out all the materials I covered today. It is a lot. It is a lot. It is new for everyone who's on this call.
Okay.
Yeah,
It just
so
seemed
don't
like I was
stress.
like, like when you're put in the middle of it's like, oh wait, I feel like I missed the beginning of it, but okay, that
Yeah,
seems
well,
good.
what question, like, what do you feel like is missing? Because I'd love to like fill in any gaps for you, even just briefly.
It's like I said, it's just kind of like when you go into a math class and it's like, okay, we're doing 2 + 2 = 4. I feel like I came in on the end of it rather than where did the 2 + 2 come from. But
Gotcha.
yeah, once I go over everything,
Okay.
I feel like I'll have a better, then I
Yeah.
can ask those questions.
Yes. Sounds good. And it's not baptized by fire. It might feel that way, but like, I mean, Fantasia's on this call right now. She was part of the soft launch last year of the system.
Okay.
And mistakes are going to be made. We're going to have some fumbles. We're going to have to test it out. That's what we're going to do next week. Questions are going to come up and we're not going to leave you stranded. That's what those office hours are for.
Okay.
So
I appreciate that.
breathe. It's gonna all come together, I promise.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for joining us today. Hope to see you next week.
Definitely. Bye-bye.
All right, Elaine, Fantasia, do either of you have any questions before I close out this meeting?
No questions.
All right, awesome. Thanks for joining. Fantasia, thanks for jumping in, even though you're like a veteran here.
No, I'm still struggling. I try to do
Okay.
some stuff on my own, but it was like the guide that you were talking about. I'm gonna try to use that before I bug you about it.
Oh, great. Sounds great. Well, I'm glad you joined. I hope some things maybe get cleared up. I mean, next week is the more deep dive, but let me know. I'm available. You also are like my coworker. You're not a WIOA partner, so you can always chat me. Just so you know, people do, other navigators do all the time. So
I know. I just try to figure it out on my own before I bug you.
it's okay. I literally get paid to do this, so All right, awesome. Well, I'll see you all later. And a quick scramble around, grab my stuff, and head down to Pilsen. So,
Okay.
all right, thanks, guys.
No problem.
Nydia, before you go, did you grab all those emails from chat?
I added all of those people to as I was summing them up, I was adding them as I was going.
Perfect. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna send the invite to like everyone again.
Okay.
That's on that attendance list.
I'm curious though, because there were some who said that they already have been invited. So does that mean that they were going to receive another notification or not?
I mean, they might, but
okay. Well, I hope.
Well, actually, they won't. I did it this morning, and I just copied the invite list, and for all the navigators that were on the calendar and you and me, it said like, hey, these have all already been invited, so it didn't send them again. But anybody who's gotten the invite but didn't actually accept it, I can see it in Airtable.
Okay.
And I can just hit like resend if they don't accept it by the end of today.
Okay, perfect. That sounds good, because some of them it was like, okay, message sent, and then some of them were like, oh, message has already been sent. So okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Good job today.
Oh, thanks. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going all the way to 11 and I'm just gonna do it again.
I know.